Hey, welcome to another episode of Healthy Living Resources. Today we have sort of a unique set of video clips, and joining me will be Dwayne Rigsby. Dwayne Rigsby and I are going to be talking with Amanda Woods. Amanda Woods is the Healthy Finance Program Specialist, and Amy Meehan. She's the Healthy People Program Specialist, and they both are going to be joining us on the Zoom. So first of all, welcome, Amy, Amanda, and Dwayne.
Hey, Patrick.
Thanks so much for having us.
Oh, thank you. One of our successful shows has been the Healthy Living Resources Program, and we've had the opportunity throughout the last year to do a number of different video clips, and we wanted to highlight those clips because I think it's very, very important, not only when they were shown and when they were completed, but in today's world also. So Amanda and Amy, what clip are you interested in doing starting first?
We can go ahead and start with some food safety, since a lot of people are probably cooking at home a lot more right now, and especially this one talks about grilling safety. So as the weather is getting nicer and people are enjoying spending more time outside right now, I think those are really important topics to cover.
Okay, great. And so on the food safety, what are a couple things that we're going to see in this video?
Sure. So always really important to wash your hands before and after any of your cooking, especially if you're transporting food in and outside of the house when you're on the grill, making sure you're using different plates for uncooked versus cooked food, making sure things are staying at the proper temperature if you're going to be outside for a while. Just little considerations like that go just kind of a step beyond cooking in your own normal kitchen.
Oh, very good. Very good. Well, let's take a look.
Hi, and welcome to another Healthy Living Resources Quick Spot. I'm Amy Meehan, Healthy People Program Specialist, and I'm joined today by Pat Brinkman, FCS Educator in Fayette County. And today we're going to be talking about grilling food safety. So it's that time of year again where everybody loves to have cookouts and barbecues and be outside grilling and enjoying the warm weather, which is great. But there are definitely some food safety considerations that we should keep in mind when we're handling raw food products outside. Isn't that right?
That is very true. And one thing we want to do is always wash our hands, especially whenever we handle any raw meats or any type of that. Make sure you wash your hands well. But another thing that's really important is use different plates. So if you take that raw meat out to put it on the grill or whether on one plate, then make sure you bring out a different plate or wash that plate really well and make sure it's totally clean and sanitized before you put your cooked meat on it, so that you don't have to worry about that being a problem, as that can be cross-contamination and spread foodborne illnesses or bacteria, so that we might get sick, and we don't want that at all.
No cross-contamination.
So, another thing you really need to be careful about when you're grilling is that meats can cause the reaction with that hot heat, and flare-ups can cause charring, which can be a cancer risk. So we want to avoid that, and ways we can do that is to cook on medium heat, so the heat's not so hot. Cook lean cuts of meat that don't tend to flare up so much.
Right, you don't have that fat dripping down in the flames.
Marinate your meat, they say, an hour before you put it on the grill. Also helps reduce that flaring up. And maybe line your grill with foil, or use a wet cedar plank or something, because that will help prevent those flare-ups.
Sure.
It's a good idea to have a spray bottle with some water, so that as flare-ups happen, you can spritz it and get rid of it quickly, and not have that flare-up. And then make sure you remove those charred parts of the meat before you eat them.
And they probably won't taste good anyway, so you're not going to be missing much.
No. Now, vegetables and fruits are great on the grill, and they don't have any cancer-causing problems at all, or cause any type of reactions that may cause problems. So grill those fruits and vegetables out on the grill. They taste terrific.
They get a whole different flavor to them when they're grilled versus cooked any other way. That's just so good and so great to take advantage of over the summer with the in-season produce and trying new things like pineapple or watermelon, things you wouldn't necessarily think to grill grill, but that just taste delicious with that little extra char on them.
That's true. And who can beat corn on the cob?
Yep.
And asparagus or Brussels sprouts, zucchini on the grill? You can't beat it. So terrific things to consider putting on that grill. So make sure that you, try some of those things, because there's no problem at all with putting them on the grill, and they taste delicious.
Absolutely. And usually those you don't have to worry about cooking to a certain temperature, but with your meat, you should definitely be concerned about that. And we have.
So you want to make sure that you use, for meat, we want to make sure that you use a thermometer and check the temperature, because turning colors or getting it brown does not mean it's thoroughly cooked or that it's cooked to the proper temperature. So for poultry, you want to cook it to 165 degrees, any type of poultry, chicken, turkey, whatever. For other types of meat, any type of ground meat, 160 degrees, anything else 145 degrees or above, depending upon your taste preferences.
Absolutely, and you can find charts with those minimum internal cooking temperatures all over the place online. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to check that out. I also encourage you to go to Live Healthy, Live Well or Live Smarter Ohio, our blog sites, for some tips and tricks for grilling. In Ohio Line, we also have some food safety fact sheets. So if you have any questions about how to grill a certain item, it's probably there. So please go check that out. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Amanda and Amy, you have a nice clip about drinking water and enhancing that experience.
Yes, absolutely. I think staying hydrated during the summer months especially is super important. I think a lot of people have been getting outside a lot more, especially as the weather gets nicer. So just remembering to try to keep a bottle of water with you. And I know water can be boring sometimes, and I've heard that a lot. Trying to help people switch from maybe a sugar-sweetened beverage to a water drink. But there are plenty of ways to make your water a lot more palatable without adding any extra calories.
Hi, and welcome to another Healthy Living Resources Quick Spot. I'm Amy Meehan, Healthy People Program Specialist, and today we have with us Pat Brinkman, who's the FCS Educator in Fayette County, and we're going to talk about staying hydrated in the summer.
Being out in the sun and getting overheated is very not good for any of us. So it's real important to stay hydrated, because that will help us avoid getting overheated. So the best thing for us to drink is water. But we get tired of drinking just plain water a lot of times over the summer. So when we need to drink more liquids during that summertime. So think about how you can make your water more interesting. And I have some examples here. One would be maybe some sparkling water. It has that carbonation that a lot of us like.
Gives you that mouthfeel.
And gives that mouthfeel without added sugar. So try to make sure you're checking at nutrient label to make sure there isn't a lot of calories or no calories added in there. But then you can also add fruit to your water to make it a lot more interesting. There's blueberries, there's watermelon. Cucumber is actually very good in water.
And refreshing, I feel like. That's why you see it at the spa all the time.
Yeah, so it's one of those you wouldn't think of adding it to water, but it's very good.
And it's a great way to take advantage of the summer produce that's so available, and it just tastes better when it's in season. So adding it in as many different things as you can, why not?
And add some juice, or take some fruit, squeeze it to add juice. That's another one. Freezing watermelon and grapes and frozen blueberries and all those, and just eating the fruit frozen will give you some water, and it is delicious.
Especially those fruits that have a higher water content, like melons and things like that. Always a great idea in the summertime. Very refreshing, and a great way to get some extra hydration in if you're going to go be active outside over the summer.
That's right.
It's definitely worthwhile to have a lot of these different options, and like the frozen fruit would act like ice cubes. You could freeze fruit into ice cubes to make them look pretty. So there's lots of different ideas.
Another one is to drink water with your meals, so that you get that extra water in, because we need, as it is hotter, we need to drink more water. And drinking water is the best thing for our bodies. We don't need the sports drinks, or we don't need those other ones, really, unless you're going to be out really over exercising for at least an hour or more. So when you're out, think about what time you're out to when you're exercising. Do your exercise early in the morning or later in the evening when it's cooler, so you don't get overheated or overexhausted.
And it's good to plan ahead that if you're going to go out and say go for a run or a hike or something, if a water bottle is too cumbersome to keep with you, maybe stay in range of your house. So if you do need to head home and grab a quick drink, you're able to do that without getting overheated and risking having a problem.
Very
so
important.
keeping all that in mind, I think is really helpful to stay hydrated and have a fun, healthy summer.
It is, and look how colorful those different waters are too. They make it more interesting.
Right. Hopefully they look really inviting. So we encourage you to try these tips at home. Also check out Live Smart Ohio, Live Healthy, Live Well, our 2 blog sites where we have a lot more ideas like this and recipes. Also Ohio Line, we have some great fact sheets that talk specifically about different Ohio produce and different combinations that you can put into your infused water. So please take a look at that, check it out, and thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
One of the things that I really liked was that frozen fruits used as ice cubes.
It's a neat idea. I've never really thought about it, but it makes sense to give you a little different flavor, like you were talking about, about Amy talking about not being just plain water, I guess.
And I know that oftentimes when we are hot, we don't necessarily drink the right kinds of things.
Yeah, and I have kind of a semi-stupid question, I'll say. Does it matter if it's hot or cold?
So not quite that. It's more based upon if you're putting sliced fruit into your drinks, because like we say with any sliced fruit, whether it's in water or not, you should always refrigerate that after the fact. So we do recommend that after you put sliced fruit into your water and it's infusing, that you can store it into your refrigerator for just a couple of days for maximum infusion, but also food safety and just really best tasting quality at that point.
Okay.
You bring up a good point, Dwayne, when it gets really hot. And, for my own experience, it seems that the seasons are getting longer where the sun is shining, at least in parts of Ohio. And, sometimes that sun gets very hot.
Absolutely, it can. And so I think that's really important. One of the next clips that we have to talk about is about sun safety. So as the days get longer, as it gets hotter outside, you're probably wearing more short sleeves and shorts, so you have more skin exposed. So it's really important to think about putting on sunscreen when you can, maybe having sunscreen in your moisturizer, wearing the appropriate type of clothing, whether that be a wide-brimmed hat or at least a baseball cap or something to get you started if you don't quite have the gear that we suggest here in the video. Amanda, do you have anything to add to sun safety? I know you like to spend time outdoors too.
I do, yeah. So I think just like you said, really kind of paying attention to that. I know that I like to spend a lot of time hiking, and I think that that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to probably look to do in the coming months as we're encouraged to stay away from each other. And I think one of the biggest things is even when it's cloudy, or even if you're hiking and there are tree cover, so you're not getting direct sunlight, that having sun protection is a really important thing to consider. Even when you don't think that you're getting a lot of sun, it's still a super important thing. So that would be something that I would add, as I think people are going to be spending a lot more time doing those activities as we move forward.
Well, let's take a look.
Hi, and welcome to another Healthy Living Resources Quick Spot. I'm Amy Meehan, and today I'm joined by Pat Brinkman, FCS Educator in Fayette County, and we're going to be discussing sun safety, and specifically what that looks like in terms of how to protect yourself and what to look out for to decrease your sun cancer risk. So Pat, could you please explain what's in front of us here?
Yes, it's important to wear sunscreen because sunscreen actually has been shown, research-wise, to protect you against skin cancer. So make sure you get that sunscreen on when you're outside. And what you want to look for in a sunscreen, there's different types of sunscreen we can use, you might say, or ways we can apply it. And any of those ways will work as long as you apply it correctly. So make sure you put lots on, actually, you might say, or smother it on thick. But the most important things is there's certain things you need to look for when you're buying sunscreen. And one of those is that it's broad spectrum. That means it protects you against UVA and UVB rays, because both of those can cause cancer, so skin cancer. So we want to make sure that we get both of those in our sunscreen. We also want to make sure that it is water resistant, so that when we're in the water, it's not totally gone from us or it disappears. Now, that does not mean it's waterproof, so when we come out of the water, we need to reapply it right away. And we should reapply our sunscreen every 2 hours. So that means we're really applying it often, but it is important to make sure that we have that on. And you should also apply it 2 hours, or at least 15 to 20 minutes before you go outside. So it has a chance to soak into your skin and really start working before you're out there in that hot sun. Another thing you might say, SPF-wise, it should be 15 or higher. So get one that, if you're really sensitive sun or out in bright sun, 30 is maybe the best to have. But it doesn't have to be higher than that, because it doesn't give you much more protection. So paying that extra cost is not really necessary for that.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and then if you like the sprays, because they're easier to apply, make sure you rub it into your skin, and don't have any bad spots around, and try to get it so that you walk away from it so you're not breathing in the spray. Is really a good idea. And then don't forget the lip gloss with SPF in it, so check and make sure your lip gloss is, because you can get those lip smear, which don't feel good at all. Make sure you wear those sunglasses to protect your eyes, and even the cheap brands are UVA and UVB protection usually, so just make sure the little stickers there, and you don't have to worry about extra costs. And don't forget your hat. Wide brims are best, so they protect our ears rather than baseball caps. So wear those hats and try to cover up with some clothing. I know you can buy specialty clothing that provides you with sun safety or sun protection, but you know, any type of clothing, as long as it's long sleeve, darker colors are best, will provide you with some sun protection. So
perfect. So you don't have to reapply as often. That's great.
Yes. So make sure you stay sun safe, get that sunscreen on every day, and stay safe in the sun.
And please, we encourage you to go check out Live Smart Ohio and Live Healthy Live Well, our two blog sites, for any more information on sun safety. Also, Ohio Line, we have a couple different fact sheets specifically about sun safety, so if you want to learn more about the different types of products or what might work best for you, or how to mitigate your cancer risk with skin cancer, we encourage you to go to your dermatologist to get checked every so often, just to stay on top of things. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
She does make a good point about lips can be susceptible to sun damage.
A lot of people don't think about that, and actually your nose and a little bit of your ears if you don't wear that hat.
You know, Amy, you had created a video regarding exercising for the new year, but I think it's very, very important to also look at that throughout the year. Wouldn't you say?
Yep, absolutely. I think this works no matter what time of year it is, no matter what the situation. The messaging is always kind of the same, that you really just need to find what works for you. And especially right now, as we've been encouraged to stay home and gyms are closed, exercising outdoors is really kind of, I think, what everybody's turning to, which I think, you know, staying hydrated like we already talked about, sun safety like we already talked about, that's super important for exercising outside as well. But not just that, getting creative with how you exercise. I think a lot of people will turn to running or walking or hiking, which are all great things. But if you're not a person who loves cardio, which is kind of myself, I really enjoy lifting. And that's been a lot harder to do during this time. If that's you too, or you just want to find some type of alternative, you know, you can get creative around the house, picking up like gallons of milk or water, anything that's got a little bit of weight to it. Continue to work out no matter what, but really just finding what's best for you is the best workout that's going to work.
Let's take a look at some of the other suggestions.
Hi, I'm Amy Meehan, the Healthy People Program Specialist for OSU Extension Family and Consumer Sciences. Today on the Healthy Living Resources Quick Spot, we're going to talk about one of the most common resolutions, exercise. Exercise is great, but what if you don't like going to the gym? So find what motivates you, and that absolutely doesn't have to be what everybody else is doing or what everybody else suggests. A lot of this time of year, we're barraged by all the different trends or fitness influencers who want to see you do what they're doing. And the gym sees a lot of extra activity at the beginning of the new year as a result, but that rush usually fizzles out because it's not sustainable for everyone. The best workout is the one that you will do, whatever that may be. So what are some gym alternatives? Literally anything. It's recommended that you get 150 minutes of moderate physical activity during each week, or 75 minutes of vigorous physical activity. And that can be broken into chunks of literally 10 minutes at a time. Whether that's a walk at lunch or some chair dips in your office, you don't need a gym membership to get in a great workout. Some people love to walk daily, which is low impact and keeps your heart rate in the fat burning zone. Getting outside is also great. Being in nature has been shown to be a great stress reliever. So what if you want to try something new that still doesn't stick? Well, that's okay. Keep trying. You'll never learn what you like to do without a little trial and error. I used to play soccer for 15 years and loved it. But when I went off to college, I no longer had a team to play with, so I needed to find a new activity. Running seemed easy enough and got me outside, so I then tried running a couple half marathons. While I'm proud of those accomplishments, I hated every single minute of every run I ever did. Now my husband and I are powerlifting together, and that's given us a new way to connect and spend time together while keeping us happy and healthy. That's a new love that I found, and I love feeling strong and getting fit. You can find that same love too, from hiking to cycling to swimming. Just keep trying. Thanks for joining us, and I encourage you to check out some of our blogs. We'll see you next time.
You know, a couple of things that I found really interesting was doing 150 minutes of moderate work throughout the week, or 75 minutes of heavy work for a week. And, you know, sometimes we sort of ignore that, and that really helps with the heart. Isn't that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's really important for your cardiovascular system. And so 150 minutes a week, that breaks down to like 30 minutes a day for 5 days a week. So that should hopefully be relatively doable. But even if 30 minutes is too much at one time, that's fine. You can break it up into like 3 10-minute segments, you know, going for walks here and there. So again, just kind of thinking about being creative in how you get your body moving. That's really the most important thing.
I really liked when you said find activities that you like and don't do what you don't like. And I think that's so true. You know, that's why some of us don't go to the gym, is the fact that we just don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And that's totally fine.
You know, the next portion I think is extremely important, and that is building financial security. And Amanda, why is building financial security so important any time of the year?
So this is a really important thing for people to keep in mind, like you said, always, right? Excessively important right now, but really anytime. These are steps that you can take to ensure that you're really living your healthiest financial life. And so a lot of what this looks like, as you'll see in the video, is just taking stock of where you are and then taking those proactive steps to begin to build a more financially secure present and future. And now a lot of people are being impacted financially, a lot of people. And so these steps are just as important to take now. Some things might not be as doable right now. We talk about saving automatically. If you're not getting a paycheck, it's fine. Just keep that in mind as we go forward. But understanding that all the decisions we make impact our financial lives, understanding the importance of pursuing financial education to build a more financially secure life, and as the last episode we talked about emergency savings, that's also a part of it too, right? So all of these little steps that kind of all come together to really help set you up to be financially secure as we move forward. So financial security could look like, if having lost your job during this pandemic, would you have had more of a financial cushion to withstand this blow? Another thing before we get into the video, just a quick plug that we have a financial Q&A effort that we've kind of rolled out for the people of Ohio. And you can go to go.osu.edu/financial assistance, and you can put in a question, and an OSU extension professional will respond to you directly. So as you're kind of taking stock of your financial present and thinking about how to move forward, I wanted our viewers to be aware of that resource that's available to them.
And today's quick spot is going to focus on resolving to build financial security. There are some steps we should resolve to take this year to promote financial health and wellness in our lives. One of the easiest ways to start out the new year on a financially healthy note is to start saving automatically. If you haven't already, work with your bank, credit union, or employer to set up an automatic transfer to your savings account from every paycheck. Another way we can do this is to assess the current financial situation in our lives. This time of year offers an excellent opportunity to assess your current financial situation. Not only will this information provide great insight into where you are currently, but it will likely also provide beneficial guidance for your financial decision making over the new year. Use your current situation to inform your budget planning for the new year, as well as to help you make decisions about building your savings, paying down debt, any other actions that can be taken to put you on the path to better financial health. Another way that we can help improve our financial security is to consistently work to become more financially literate. Our understanding of financial matters, our financial literacy, is vital to making financial decisions that will positively affect personal financial health and well-being. And by consistently working to improve your understanding of your financial health, you will also have a positive impact on how you view your own financial literacy. The last way we can work to build financial security in our lives is to use technology to our advantage. One thing that I plan to do in the new year is to take advantage of all the technology has to offer those of us aiming to improve our financial lives. You may want to sign up to take advantage of bank and credit alerts, as well as other helpful financial reminders. Thank you for joining me on today's Quick Spot. We'll see you again.
Amanda, Amy, want to thank you very much. Any thoughts, any final thoughts, Dwayne?
No, I think the biggest takeaway you got here is some very good activities, some very good ways to try to save some money, a good way to stay healthy in this time, in this crisis that we're under. But I think all of it is great information. And please go back and look at the extra information that we all had. And we look forward to seeing you next time on the show. And hopefully maybe we'll be together, or maybe we'll be in these boxes again.
Well, again, I really appreciate our viewership. I appreciate Sarah behind us, and Amanda and Amy, thank you.